Alright guys, so it's been a while since I've gotten a video out, so I'm just going to get a quick one out about some of the fry in the fish room and how they're doing, specifically the rainbow fish and the electric blue acara. Sorry if this is, the quality is a little bad or my angles are a little bad. I do have you on the gimbal now, and there's a bit of a learning curve, so I've got to kind of figure it all out. And I've just got to test and try. And the phone I am on is actually a new one that I'm trying out. I decided to go ahead and upgrade the phone since I now have a gimbal that is specifically for a phone. Let me know what you think about the quality, if it's better than the last video I put out, because that was on my old phone. This is a new phone. This is the LG V20, which is supposed to have very good sound quality, so definitely let me know about the sound. And video quality is supposed to be right up there with the Samsung 8, and I was just on the Samsung S6, so it should be a definite upgrade. It's got some cool features to it. I can actually add like an SD card, so that's, 64 gigs is what it has stock. I should be able to add, I think, up to like 128 gigs for a micro SD, and I can just pop the back out, and I can take the battery out, which is amazing because I'm coming from an S6. So yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think, if you like it, if you think it's an upgrade from the last one, because it's definitely bigger and I really don't like it. So if it's not like better quality, it's definitely not worth having. Though I did get it on sale for under $300, brand new from the Sprint store, so that does have that going for it. It's basically as much as me buying, or even less than me buying like a brand new S6. So it has that going for it. So anyways, we'll go ahead and we'll check out some fry. And boom. So I'm starting to get this gimbal figured out. But yeah, so anyways, here are the electric blue acara. Let me do this, move that over. So if I have a frame of reference, what can we do for a frame of reference? Is that probably not a good frame of reference? Maybe we'll consider this to be a frame of reference. So, well, there's Mama, or no, I think that's Dad. And for the record, Dad chased out Mom for some reason, so Mom is living in a 30-gallon in the living room by herself. So that gives you kind of a frame of reference to how big they are. They're not quite dime-sized yet. They're definitely smaller than dimes, and because I have like the whole colony of them together, I'm going to say it's at least 100, maybe more. I want to say it's closer to 150. But I kind of really don't know. But there's some smaller ones in here. They're like, where'd it go? I think right there. There's some definite small ones, but then there are some. Most of them are growing at a good rate, and you can tell they're little mini electric blue acaras. I think it's just so like funny and adorable to look at them because they're just little mini electric blue acaras, and electric blue acaras have kind of been one of my favorite South American cichlids, mainly because of the color. They just have that magnificent blue, and yeah. But he's working out to be a really good parent. I just got done feeding him, and I'll throw in a little bit more food in there. Like, he will not take food from them. He tries to eat, and if they go for the same piece of food, he just backs off, and it's their food. So he's a really good parent. But I'm going to feed a little bit of tetracolor granule because I'm kind of trying that out for a like a grow out food. I think it'll be good, cheap, and it has a lot of protein. It has 47.5% protein, which is pretty high. So go ahead and put a little bit in, and we can watch them eat. There we go. I don't know how well this camera is focusing for me, but what YouTube does with it and what my phone is showing me on the screen is going to be, two completely different things. So, and the gimbal is a little bit hard because it's definitely not as quick at turning and you know, capturing the moment as I am, but it's definitely a lot smoother at doing it than I am. But I'll grab a little bit more. You want to go show them how you're nice, huh? I don't know how well this camera is actually focusing for me. Should have the same hardware as the Samsung S8. So, I mean, with that said, I would definitely rather have the S8. I think Samsung has a much better phone. I do not like the user interface on this at all. But if it has, you know, the sound quality and the picture quality that it says it has, it's worth it. So, and I paid under $300 for it, brand new. So, I mean, that's, you know, kind of a nice thing there. But they're doing good. Let's go ahead and let's go feed the Bellerai rainbows. So Bellerai rainbows are doing well. I did have one I put down. I don't know what happened to it. It just looked bad. I came in one day and I just looked at them, and I had one sitting towards the bottom that just wasn't looking very good. And I do still have one with one eye, and then I do still have one with like some type of odd abscess on its side, like a little white bump. I can't get either of those out. To be honest, I'm fine with the one that has one eye. It's obviously not a health problem. But the other one with the weird little abscess on it, I will probably euthanize her. I'll probably just feed it to something if I can get it out while it's still small enough. But anyways, they're doing good. For sizing on these guys, here's like a bug bites container if they want to come up to it, which of course they're a little bit more darty than the cichlids, so, but you know, cichlids are a bit smarter than rainbow fish. I am certain of that. Rainbow fish are really just like pretty minnows, and that's straight out of Gary Lang's mouth. But yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll feed them a little bit. Crush that up. They got fed not too long ago, so I'm not sure how well they're gonna take to that. There they go. They're figuring out. They do pretty nice feeding frenzies. Rainbows hit the top of that water hard when they feed. That's one thing I really enjoy feeding my Australian rainbows outside. Because they hit the water and just do this like rapid U-turn, and they're like their tail fin basically flops out of the water after they hit the food, so it's pretty fun to feed them outside in that tote. Which I gotta get those in here pretty soon. What are we sitting at? 8 minutes 20 seconds. If I can get you guys a little bit closer here, you can kind of see. So I'm gonna say my biggest one in here is an inch and a quarter. I feel is safe. I think anything other. If I said any bigger than an inch and a quarter, I feel like I might be stretching their size a bit, and that's where'd he go. Some of my bigger ones kind of stay down low, but maybe about an inch and a quarter. I'd say definitely over an inch, definitely not an inch and a half though. And they're all doing good. I'm gonna say my favorite thing about this tank is probably the Ludwigia SP Red. That's a really nice plant right there. I mean, it's just, leaves are smaller, grows really slow for Ludwigia. It does not care for CO2 or high light. It likes medium light from my experience with it. Medium light and good fert dosing is all that plant wants. And I've got a little bit more. I was able to harvest some of it, split it off, and get a second culture going. So I'm pretty happy about that. But that tank's doing good. Got to see if this stuff right here, that carpet, ends up working for me. Helanthrium quadriceps, if it's even that. I'm almost positive it is, but it might not be, considering the person I got it from had already, inaccurately identified at least one, if not two other plants when he sold them to me. So, and that is a YouTuber. Well, I'm gonna leave the name out. It's No one that's fish fam related, though. I can say that. And I do want to end over here on the 125 Fahaka tank. Let me turn that fan off so it doesn't ruin the shot. But I do want to end over here on the 125 Fahaka tank. Been doing a little bit of work in scaping to it. Just getting it, aged and cycled, which it is cycled. I just want to, let it hang out and really cycle for a little bit before I move him in here. And I also want to finish scaping it. And that way I don't have to, put my Fahaka in here and then start rescaping stuff, because he's not going to enjoy being moved and then having his new house messed with before he really even calls it home. And I would also like to get some other fish in here for him. I think I would like a fish in here to really clean up after him. I talked to Corey on his live stream today. Corey said a goldfish would be amazing at that, and I do agree. Though I don't think I want a goldfish with him. I could totally keep like a nice, fat body Ryukin in here. I could totally see that, and I would be kind of fine with it. But I don't want a big yellow goldfish in here. So yeah, I don't think I want that. Maybe if I got like a black comet, a Sarasa comet, all black, it'll look natural enough that in my head I'll think, oh, it's just like some odd Nile African mini carp. And I can accept it if it was like all black. And then when, of course, it outgrows it, I just put it in a pond outside. But I kind of don't want to do that just because, I just don't like it. I would love some, some Geophagus. But to be honest, what I'm looking for tank mates in here truly, other than rainbows, because that's probably what I'm going to go with. I'm probably just going to go with dwarf rainbows. I've got a few different types of dwarf rainbows. I think the Malachi or Macolachi, however it's pronounced, rainbow fish would look really good in here. With him and his striping and patterning, I think their striping and little bits of red in them will kind of actually match his and look pretty good. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I just got to end up breeding like maybe 50 of those. Probably 50 is too much. I bet like 30 to 40, maybe in that range. But, yeah, if you guys happen to know of any, like, biotope, from the Fahakas biotope, any native species that would make possibly a good, tank mate for him, definitely let me know. We can go over here to him. Like, he is not an aggressive Fahaka at all. He is very, calm and docile towards other fish, from what I've seen. In the beginning, he did eat some white clouds, but in hindsight, I should not probably have kept fish that were, food-sized around him. His current tank mates are right here. He's got a Siamese algae eater and a bristlenose pleco, which he'll probably have a few Siamese algae eaters and bristlenose pleco in there just to kind of help clean up. I may even do Florida flagfish, depending on what the algae situation is in there. But definitely a few albino bristlenose or some type of bristlenose, maybe some long, thin green dragons or something, if I can get my hands on them. But this is the little guy. He's about 4 to 5 inches, and he's doing good. I can't say that he's aggressive towards fish. He definitely will murder some crayfish and snails. So, but yeah, I really don't think. I think those guys might be small. Maybe. I know I could do rainbows. These are the rainbows I'm most likely going to end up doing with him because I think that little bit of red and striping will kind of match him pretty good. I think it'll look good, and I don't think he's going to eat those. Though I do probably want to get them in there first. I can't really do that, so we'll just have to kind of cross our fingers and hope he doesn't, go for them like they're food. So, I think I'll be able to manage. I think I can feed him really heavy, and he won't even, think twice about trying to catch a fish when, he's going to have a lot of snails to eat. Basically any mystery snail I can't sell or doesn't look good enough, doesn't have a good enough shell or anything like that is going to be food for him, and that's part of the reason why I'm breeding the mystery snails to this capacity. I would much rather sell these to people and get these into the hobby because I know mine, just from experience, mine seem to live a lot longer, grow better, have better shells, be healthier. than store-bought ones. All my store-bought ones died after about 6 months of owning them, and I don't think I have a single store-bought one now. Or those guys are maybe a couple months old. That one is big. I've even got some different colors in here too. I was able to breed out these chestnuts, which these chestnuts are a mix of the yellow and the brown, so they have that brownish golden shell, and sometimes it's yellow with like brown stripes on it with the white body, and that's considered to be a chestnut. So those are sometimes called chestnuts, the brown ones, but they're actually just a wild type. They're not a true chestnut. And then for this tank, I want to cover this, I guess, before we end this. On this scape, I've got some more of this Helanthrium quadriceps that I'm trying out. I don't think it'll stay just because he likes to bury himself in the sand, and that's why I put the sand in there. What definitely will stay are crypts. So the crypt spiralis behind this little structure here, which might not stay, I'm not sure. The wood does. That pot may or may not sure. That crypt spiralis is definitely staying. All these crypts, these bronze crypts, bronze when dead eyes stay. And then this massive crypt here. That was in my 55-gallon guppy tank about 3 months ago. I removed it. It was 1 to 2 plants with about 8 leaves. I put it in a medium pot with dirt, and then I placed it in their tank for about 2 to 3 months, and then pulled it out, and it had just consumed that entire pot. So I upped it and given it basically a much bigger pot in the hopes that it will basically just consume that pot with more plants. Now that's quite a few plants in there too, and that is just one beautiful, beautiful crypt. And I'm very happy with that thing. I went ahead and I kept it in the pot because it just grew so much better and so much faster than any of my other crypts. Even, I mean, it outcompeted CO2 highlight crypts, and I really just believe it's because it had some soil to grow in. And this tank does have CO2 as of yesterday, or today actually, because it was the first day with it. But I've got like a bubble per 3 seconds, so it's maybe a quarter of a bubble per second. It's a very small amount on a fairly large tank, and the idea is it's just going to be some CO2. This is not a highlight high-tech tank. I just want some, just to give those plants the carbon that they need to grow. I don't want them to grow fast or anything like that. I just want them to have what they need in very low amounts, so that it's a long-term sustainable tank. So yeah, I think that covers it, you guys. That is the 125 and an update on all the fry tanks. Let me attempt to turn this camera around. 3 buttons and it turns around. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.